morning. Making sure I'm on here. All right. This morning I thought we'd do something a little different. Instead of doing it with that regular back wall, thought we'd do a fireside chat, see how that worked. Interested what you guys think in terms of visual, sound quality, just the different feel. It's pretty bright in here because it's a sunny morning. So I'm just interested in what you guys think about doing it here as opposed to where else, where I normally do it. We're just a little bit early because I tried something different in terms of the way in which I get it started. And so it was quicker on the uptake than it normally is. I appreciate you guys watching, both my faithful ones that are watching live. They're Al and Angie. Thanks for joining me. But also for people who maybe watch it later in the day when it's available on YouTube. Just interested in your opinion on all this. We're in Proverbs 1. We're going to be looking at 8 to 19. And we're going to talk this morning for just a moment on the wise versus foolish counsel. And let me just ask you, have you ever done anything stupid to fit in, to be liked, or to be noticed? I remember when I was in high school once, I went with a friend of mine to visit his girlfriend in Wisconsin, and his girlfriend and her friends, they wanted to go to some party. So me, an Assemblies of God, born and bred, very conservative, don't do things like parties, and him, a Mormon, also very conservative, doesn't go to parties, doesn't drink. So we go to this party, and of course it's a beer party, and everybody's wandering around listening to music, drinking beer. So me and my friend are standing there, and we had cups of beer that I think I may have taken a couple of sips out of, but beer is nasty, so I never really drank it. But we just held the cups because we didn't want to feel weird, which I know is kind of strange for me not to want to feel weird, but whatever. But there's this strong pressure, we call it peer pressure, to fit in, to be noticed. And I know that you guys probably know about the people on YouTube, the stupid things they do, and the most recent one, or a recent one, is the whole licking toilet seats, which is stupid regardless of the Corona-19 virus, and it's just nasty. But people do it because, hey, if I do something really wild out there and get it on Facebook or YouTube, then a lot of people will watch it, and I'll have my moment of being noticed. So let me just read to you Proverbs 1, beginning with verse 8, and we'll just talk about these for just a moment. He says, "Listen, my son, to your father's instruction. Do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, 'Come along with us, let's lie in wait for innocent blood. Let's ambush some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive, like the grave, the whole like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things and fill our houses with plunder. Cast lots with us, and we will all share the loot. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set your foot on their paths. For their feet rush into evil, and they are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it." So remember here in Proverbs, the kind of the underlying verse from last week, or from Monday, was fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So we know that if we truly want to gain wisdom, the biggest and most important thing is that we learn to build relationship with the God that is and accept God for who he is and not necessarily for what we want him to be or who we want him to be. But we go now to a passage where we talk about the importance of the wise counsel. And there's this contrast between the mom and dad, the parents, and their wise advice. And if you listen to them, your reward will be stability, prosperity, recognition. Chances are good if you listen to what mom and dad says, especially since mom and dad, remember, have been given the role of teaching the children. then you're going to, your life is going to tend to be better. And of course, the content of mom and dad's advice is going to make a big difference. But the idea here is that a mom and dad who are serving the Lord, who are teaching and training their kids, and this goes beyond just mom and dad, in a biological sense. This could be anybody in our lives that we can mentor, that we can help along the path, that we can help to show with the wisdom of God to, that we can help them. And there are people who are older and more mature than us. If we will listen to them and we will allow that wisdom to come to us, then it will make our life better, is the general idea here. Again, remember Proverbs. These are not promises in the sense of if you do A and B, C will automatically happen, but they're saying that in general, the one who listens to the good advice of your parents or to your mentors or to people in authority over you, your lives are going to end up better. And so he uses this image here to say, hey, listen to wisdom. He said, now, as opposed to that, we need to learn to fight the peer pressure. And people around us, of course, they want to live their lives outside of the wisdom of God. They want to live their lives, and the picture that Solomon paints for us here in the Proverbs is actually a very violent picture. These young men who are out to kill, steal, and destroy. They're out for adventure. They want to make a name for themselves. Specifically, they want riches. He said, look, we'll go and we'll beat this guy up and we'll kill him if necessary and we'll fill our house with good things. And how easy it is for us to be drawn into bad behavior simply because we are walking in fellowship with people who are looking to do bad things. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't have non-Christian friends. Of course we should, and we should be seeking to be a good influence on them. But we need to recognize that the people who are not governed by the fear of the Lord, they don't have godly wisdom. And so they will oftentimes try to drag us into situations like what happened when I went with my friend to Wisconsin. We ended up dragged into a situation because we were hanging out with these kids our own age, and her parents were out of town, and so we didn't have the moral strength at that point in our lives to stand up and say, no, we don't want to do that. So we need to be careful of the people that we hang out with and the peer pressure. We need to recognize that peer pressure. Riches are not the most important thing. Adventure is not the most important thing. Notice as well, he says, come along with us. You'll be one of us. We'll share the loot together. There's this camaraderie. People really desire relationships. And of course, right now with the whole COVID-19, we recognize that even more as we're disconnected from the larger community around us, our church family and other people in the community that are not living in our homes. And we desire that. That's why people go to bars, because there's a camaraderie there. That's why people join all kinds of different groups, because there's a connection that we all desire. And the youths in this proverb, they say, hey, come, you'll be one of us. Come hang out with us. You'll be one of the gang. And so we need to recognize that that's okay to again be involved in various groups and organizations and whatnot, but that our true fellowship, our true camaraderie comes in the context of our relationship with the Lord. Because if we follow after people who are going into sin and who are involved in sinful activity, the Proverbs, Solomon says that basically they're ambushing themselves. They're setting their own traps, and they don't even realize it. And then they fall into their own traps. They ambush themselves, and the paths of those who go after this ill-gotten gain, it will take away the life of those who get it. In other words, in general, people who pursue bad behavior will pay for it on this earth. But we know ultimately that they will pay for it, as each one of us will stand before our Lord, give an account for what we have done with this life. So this morning, I guess the thing that I just want to say is, let's pursue the wisdom that comes from the Lord, and be careful to not pursue the unwise, the sinful, the ones who want to draw us into activities we know we shouldn't be involved in. And our lives will tend to be better because the Lord's blessing will be upon them. Hey, thanks for being here this morning, and look forward to being here again on Friday. Like I said, let me know what you think. You like this better? You like the other one better? I may try different things. I don't know. Just trying to figure this whole being connected through the internet. Love you guys, and we will see you on Friday. God bless.